Welcome to My Mustang Garage.
Welcome to My Mustang Garage. This is the introduction to this channel. I'm going to be talking about the project I'm working on, why I'm doing this project, and the challenges that I have of this build that I'm doing. The project I'm doing is building a 67 Mustang convertible from the ground up. I do have pieces of the original car, that the 67 convertible I bought back in 2018, but most of it was totally rotten away from the bottom up, and I have to go in and replace almost everything. So I decided to go ahead and do a video of building a convertible, 67 Mustang convertible from the ground up, from the frame jig all the way up to the last nut and bolt, to a running, functioning, legal car. Now, I bought the car in 2018, and this is my background about me. For most of my life, I've been a Mustang enthusiast. My dad bought a 72 Mustang when I was 10 years old, and that was 1981. So the car was only 9 years old and still in really good condition. And he drove that as a daily driver. I went to school in that car. And it was a really beautiful red 72 coupe with a black vinyl top with the black interior. We drove across country in this car, and I fell in love with the Mustang then. Move on forward, in 1987, when I was 16 years old, I bought my first car. My grandfather helped me buy the car, and it was only $500 at the time. It ran and drove, and I bought it in Detroit, Michigan, and I lived in the suburbs just outside Detroit. I bought it for $500. It was a 67 Mustang coupe. It was an all red and gray primer, but the original color of the car was lime green. And I understand why they painted it in primer, because primer looked better than lime green. And the car was a rust bucket. I drove that car from 1987 to 1990. And in 1990, I was about 18 or 19 years old, and I decided to go ahead and buy a brand new car from the Ford dealership. And that happened to be a 1990 Ranger. And I actually traded that 67 coupe for $500 towards the 1990 Ranger, which I bought brand new. Well, I kept that Ranger until I junked it myself in 2002. Well, I've had many cars since then, and many cars that weren't Ford or anything like that. But that's my extent of falling in love with the Mustang. Now the second part of it is, because I did have a falling in love with the Mustang car, I became a car enthusiast, which led me into being an auto mechanic. I was an auto mechanic for 32 years. And from that time, for the last 8 years, from 2021 and 8 years before that, I was a Ford master technician specializing in transmissions. So I was the guy who rebuilt the transmissions at the Ford dealership, or repaired your car at the Ford dealership, for a good 8 years as a master tech. So I have a very extensive background of mechanical knowledge. At the same time, before I became a master tech, I worked in body shops painting cars, body work, regular interior work, assembly, disassembly. I also worked in other fields of work, like an upholstery shop. I learned how to do convertible tops and vinyl tops and headliners and sew seats together and do patch repairs on seats. And I had a learning knowledge that I wanted to know about on how to do these things. So not only am I going to be building this car, welding it together, painting it, I'm going to be doing the top, the convertible top, the reupholstery. I'm going to show you firsthand how it works and how it's supposed to be. Will I get things right? No, I'm human. I'm going to mess up. And I'm pretty sure anybody who watches these videos will see that I will mess up. And you're going to comment, and I appreciate all the comments that I get. I may learn something from them, but I only have one rule: be respectful. I'm not here to be criticized to death about how I did something. As if I learned in my past. There's more than one way to do things. Some ways are the wrong way, and some ways are the right way. And some ways may be the wrong way, but you learn from them. It's the only way you can learn is seeing the wrong things happen and knowing, don't do that again. So, we're going to get this started, and I'm going to show you up close and personal of a few things that's going to be talked and discussed about in this channel. I'm going to talk about certain tools you need for certain jobs. I'm going to be talking about the parts themselves. And I have one little thing to say about parts themselves. They're not Ford parts. Even Ford parts don't fit. Every part you put together and put on a car will need some sort of modification or tweaking or filling around with to make work. The only time these cars ever went together simply and easily is when they were brand new and the parts were being manufactured all at the same time. So these aftermarket parts may look nice, and some are nice, but sometimes they don't work at all. Now I have to talk about something very important. In 2021, I sustained a severe injury at work, working on a car, taking out a transmission out of an F-150 at the dealership. I broke my neck. I had to have emergency surgery to have a plate put in, stabilize my neck so I wouldn't go paralyzed. Because I was so close to being totally paralyzed from the neck down, I deal with severe pain in my arms and in my neck and weakness in my legs. So when you watch these videos, just know that I'm not doing all this at one time. I'm doing this 15 minutes at a time, and I have to rest. I'll do it for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and I'll take a rest. When you see these videos, they're going to be spliced together of different times. I may be wearing different things 1 minute to the next. That's why I bought these somewhat recognizable shirts, so I could wear the same kind of shirt so it doesn't throw you off while you're watching these videos. Now my goal here is to build this car. This is my bucket list. I'm in my mid-50s now, and this is my bucket list, and I'm fully retired. I'm at home all the time now. And I want you guys to understand, if a disabled person like myself, I can walk and I can do things, but I have to take it slower than normal. This is my adventure I want you guys to share. If I can build a car with my limitations and disability, you can too. I want this to be more of an inspirational videos of you can accomplish anything you put your mind to and set out to do. And I hope that one day that everybody knows that. So join me in my little adventure of building this 67 convertible from the ground up. And I will show you step by step. And I'm going to be posting once a week. Every other week or every month, I'm going to be posting an extra video. The extra video is going to be something that's not body related or anything like that on the car. It's going to be more or less rebuilding a handbrake assembly or rebuilding the instrument cluster, how to test the instrument cluster. Another video could be tool safety, welding safety, and it's going to be informational videos about performing the job as much as it is doing the job that you're in task of doing and solving the problems as you go along. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching this video. And I will say, any tools that I do use in these videos, since I am not monetized, this is a brand new channel, I'm not monetized, I do have links in the descriptions. When a tool comes along and I'm using it, I'm going to post the link to that tool in the descriptions to buy it on Amazon or other sites. May not be Amazon, maybe Amazon, I don't know yet. This is brand new to me, and that will help support me. But I will say right now, I have everything for this car except for the paint, the gas, and the tires, and the battery. Those are the only 4 things I don't have for this car, because paint gets old, sitting in a can, tires will dry rot, batteries go dead, and gas goes flat. So this may take a year, this may take 5 years, but this is my adventure, and I hope you join me with this adventure to go from nothing to something I could be proud of. Thank you very much.